Hi, it's me, Kamilah Rose. Welcome back to my 185 Insane Update. We are here now, week 7. Checking in for week 7. I'm excited. It's been a good week. We've made some good progress on our goals. So let's get into it. As you all know, quick overview. We're doing 185 Insane to change my life in the next 6 months even more drastically than I already have. I've already had a lot of significant changes in my life over the last 2 years, which I have plenty of videos on, so I'm not going to get into all of that. We're just going to do an update today. So, for the last week, which would be August 3rd through the 9th, here's what we got. The goal is 1K of writing in the Venus Intensive. A day, but we have switched that around. I think I talked about this, but I might not have, where now I allow myself to do 3 days of 1K, no, 4 days of 1K, 3 days of 500 plus 500 writing on another piece of stuff that I'm working on. I have 2 other projects that I'm working on. So for the first week, and now I have a nice tracker for my writing. And I also track on my Excel sheet, but this is just for me for my daily, and then I just transfer everything over to the Excel at the end of the week. On the first day, on Sunday, we wrote 1,036 words, Monday 1,030, Tuesday 1,010, Wednesday 509, Thursday 529, 505, Friday 1,066, Saturday 1,056, and then for a total of the week for 6,212. On those 2 days when I only wrote 500, I wrote 542, and then I wrote 529 on my other piece of work for a total of 1,071, and my total for the week was 7,283 words, 104%. I told y'all, I said, I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna improve. We're gonna get better. Now, this was just that first week. So, you know, we got that whole first week when you really like set your mind to something and you get into the groove and you go with it. So we're gonna look to keep this up. Yesterday, to be very honest with you, today's Monday. I start my weeks on a Sunday. Yesterday was a little rough. I only wrote 500 on my Venus Intensive. So we're already having one day where it's like, I did have a very, very busy week, and I talked about that. I've been doing vlogs and capturing content throughout the week. So I talked about that, and I'll put that video out. I would really have liked for that video to come out. It'll come up after this one, because it'll be the stuff that led up to this week. And I don't want to spoil things. I don't know. I'll figure out when I want to do the release of the vlogs with the release of just the check-ins. So we're going to see how that goes for the rest of the week, but my intention is to keep with my goal. So week 1, a success. Yes. All right. For my 1K in editing, I didn't do too great with that one, but I did okay. I did editing on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I did editing on Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. I didn't edit any of the other days. So I do want to increase that. So I'll keep track of that, keep up with that. I didn't research the query process this week because it was so busy, or go to an author event. And then I have my 2 alternative days where I write in other things. And like I said, I did that 2 days. Professional and entrepreneurship goals. Post 3 pieces of content a day. I did that 6 out of the 7 days. And I also track that information. I made a snippet about this, but I have this tracker that I've been using, and I found that last week when I was doing my first quarter update, I realized I didn't have a plan. So I did need to make a plan about like what types of content will I post and what will I post on those days. And that has been so helpful for me, because now it's like, okay, well, you know, you need to make a post about this, or a reel about this, or something about this. And that really helped me close the gap between actually posting the content and that space that I tend to get stuck in, where I'm like, well, I have to figure it out. I have to create something. But if I know that I at least have a topic, it's like, just make something, like let the inspiration take over you and make something related to that topic. And so that really helped me out there. So we did 6 out of the 7 days for that one. work 2 hours a day. As I mentioned, like today is Monday, and on Fridays I try to make those my like slower days, my relaxation days. I try to do less, but I did realize I need to have at least 2 good hours of work in. So I have that in there to like 2 good hours of work a day. Did that all 7 days. Then I have the health. So under the health one, I have 4 miles a day, 5 days out of the week. I did that. I met that. I walked on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for those. And then, because I take 2 days off, so 2 days where I have kind of rest days, I do maybe 1, 2, 3 miles, maybe none. And then I have 1 Stanley. I did that for the whole week. 1 Stanley, and then one of my 30 ounce, I have a brewmate. So I do a Stanley and a brewmate, a 30 ounce and a 40 ounce. I have to make those a day. Did that through the week. I took my vitamins all week. I did tuning forks 3 days out of the week. I haven't done any yoga yet, but it's only yoga twice a month. And then running, which is my hobby, I did that 4 days out of the week. For my personal, no socials before 9, I did that throughout the whole week. And then after 9, I also did that throughout the whole week. And then read for 30 minutes, I did that through the whole week. So I had a pretty good week. So I'm very excited about that. That's a really nice like change from how that's been going for the last few weeks. Because I am editing my, I guess it's the second draft now of my novel. I try to do about 4,000 to 5,000 words a day just to kind of move through it. But as I said, I only did 3 days for this past week, so we're gonna have to improve on that and work on that. And then I want to add weightlifting, which I'm like, why don't I have space for my weightlifting? See, my plan is to do weightlifting on my rest days, but I want to do 3 days out of the week. So since I missed Sunday, I'll have to pick it up an extra day, but I'll for sure do, my plan is to for sure do Wednesday and Friday. But the plan will be to do weightlifting Sunday, Wednesday, Friday. Honestly, I think that's it. I feel pretty good about how my goals are going. I feel pretty good about the progress that I'm making. And I'll check back in. Let me know how your goals are going. Let me know what progress you're making. Let me know how you're feeling. I will see y'all next week. And hopefully I'll have added weightlifting into my challenge. I hope you have a great one. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see y'all later. Bye.